I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff.
So a couple hours after market close, we are sitting on the 20 moving average on the triple Qs, and guys, be very careful. Now, there is one thing I do want to point out about this right here. I want you to notice how the 50 and the 10 are super close to that 20 moving average. It is not going to be hard at all to break this, and you will probably test the low of 600 really soon. Now, what really saved today was around Meta. Meta did rally about 1% today, and that actually kind of what saved the market, honestly. That saved the market from dropping and going ahead and, taking out that low of the 20 moving average. But Meta did have a push up today. We did reject perfectly right off of that 200 moving average. We are consolidating. Now you can see how the 10 and the 20, same thing as the indexes, a lot of these stocks are sitting right above their 10 and 20 moving average, and there's nothing below them. Now if you look really closely, right, now on like the indexes, like the triple Qs and all of them, there is a 100 moving average down here, but a lot of these stocks don't have a moving average left. So be very careful. We could actually drop past 600 on the triple Qs very soon. Now, maybe not in one day, but within a week or two, it could go past 600, and you could probably test in the lower ends of 550. So just be very careful with that. Now on the SP 500, I do want to show you the levels if we start to hit them, which we are. Now on the SP 500, we are going to look at your first support of around 6,911, and look at this right here. So this little gap right here is probably going to get filled. You're probably going to have that SP 500 probably push down to that 10 moving average. But if the SP 500 pushes down to that 10 moving average, that is enough pressure to make the triple Qs break its 20 moving average and probably, honestly, drop down to that 50 moving average right there around 615. So there is a lot of headweight on these indexes on the SP 500, and I think also SPY and then the NAS also. So just be very careful. Now, I'm starting off with this video, the levels I'm reading off, do not buy puts past these levels. Just play your moving averages. On your first support, you are looking around 6,900 on the SP 500. On the NAS 100, you are going to look, it's at the 20 moving average. So you're probably going to find your first support around the 50 and the 10 moving average around 25,335. And then also on the regular NAS, you are going to find support around, you can already see it already dropping actually. Honestly, it could probably shoot to that 50 moving average around 25,450, but you're probably going to look at a lot of support around 25,575. And then also on the Dow, I think they already started to drop. I think that was last week. No, they're on the 10 moving average. The Dow is on the 10 moving average. Your first support is going to be that 20 moving average around 48,350. And then also on SPY, let's actually look at SPY. I don't usually talk about SPY, but I'll talk about SPY today because we're at a breaking point. So now you can see there's a little bit of a gap. If that starts to drop, that is going to start pushing the triple Qs past that 20 moving average. Now, if you want to play a little bit longer puts, you could do around 675, or you could do just a short term around 683. And then also on the Russell 2000, it's already breaking its 10 and 20 moving average. What a coincidence, right? Now, this 10 is under the 20 moving average. Bears are taking control. So if it does hit that 50 moving average, you could see a pop up to that 10 moving average. So just be very careful. Don't try to be like, it's going to drop forever. Don't be that guy. On the Nifty 50, because I usually don't talk about it, but might as well because it's the same chart if you don't know. Now you can see it already breaking its 20 and 10 moving average, sitting on that 50, and it's probably going to start pushing down to that 100 moving average. This moving average, this green line, this 100 moving average is the exact same thing as the 600 and the triple Qs. Pointing that out. So if you have a lot of these indexes dropping down, you're going to probably see 600 and the triple Qs. Now Apple. Now Apple does have a support of, what was it, like 271 or something. It has been consolidating, but here's the thing. So the SP 500, the NAS, or the SP 500, a couple other indexes like SPY, they still have that little gap to go, right? Apple is literally just floating. It is literally just riding that 10 moving average nonstop. It is going to break and push to the 100 moving average. That moving average right here is 600 in the triple Qs. So if it's going down to that next moving average, you're probably going to see 600 in the triple Qs. Now Tesla already said, screw you guys, I'm going to go home, and started dropping already. I think it already started to push. Yeah, it's pushing down to that 50 moving average. You're probably going to find support there around 444. Now if it breaks 444, it's going to push to that 100 moving average around 416. Also AVGO. Let's look at AVGO, because I was talking about last video, but kind of cut it off short, so sorry about that. If my computer will load. Okay, AVGO, it is sitting above that 10 moving average. So if the indexes do fill that little gap down to that 10 moving average, this is definitely going to break that 100 and that 10, and you're probably going to start seeing it drop down to 287, that 200 moving average. What else is 200, right? 555 in the triple Qs. So just be very careful. This is not going to be hard to break, I'm telling you. And there's no moving averages in between this. Also on Google, let's check out Google really quick. And just remember, there's two Googles, by the way, A and C. Man, I had a long day at work, not gonna lie, I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. We are still floating above that 20 moving average. That's gonna be super toxic if you're trying to short this. I mean, it's just sitting there, you're like, ugh, just drop already. You're probably gonna find first support around 295. Just be very careful though. You could probably play 263, but honestly, that 50 moving average is gonna be your first support. Meta, we actually did talk about Meta. Let's go to Amazon. I wish one of these would just crack, not gonna lie. Like, the whole Discord today, and by the way, if you want to join the Discord, the link is in the description of the video. It's down there in the description or in the comments. So you can just click in the comments. I usually pinned it. Now the 50 moving average is really just holding Amazon up, but like I said, these moving averages are clustered together. It's not going to be hard to break these at all. So you will probably look around 216 for your bottom support. If you want to play like a short term, you can look around 228. And then also on Nvda, man, just break this 50 moving average, dude. But man, look at these moving averages. They're all clustered together too. So it's really not going to be hard to see 159 very soon. This right here, 159. And that's around 550 in the triple Qs, by the way. But you do have your first support probably going to be around 183. And then also on AMD, if you're playing AMD, sitting on that 20 moving average. Isn't that just weird how everything moves together, right? Now, it's probably going to blow past that 10 moving average and run down to that 100 around 202. And then also on Microsoft, check out Microsoft. And I also want to talk about something else after this. So Microsoft, probably going to blow past that. You are going to see around 475. Now, let's talk about this because today, actually, the Fed injected a lot of money into the market. And a lot of people, they think it's bullish. They think it, I just kind of want to show you something. You can do your own little concept. Let's actually go over Bitcoin really quick while the Discord loads. So Bitcoin also, be very careful. I've been pointing this out so many times in the Discord. That 50 moving average is going to come out as a resistance. So these hard pumps are just going to hit that 50 moving average. So just be very careful. The only way Bitcoin's going to go up past that 50 moving average, unless if the triple Qs decides to rally. I'm going to tell you right now. But what do you notice, right? The indexes, a lot of these mega 7 are sitting on their 20 moving average. Guys, if we go down to 600 the triple Qs, this is going to break. And there's nothing, I don't think there's another. Let me double check. Yeah, there's no supports, no moving averages or nothing down here below. So no telling what Bitcoin can go. I can tell you right now what it can go to, but I'm just saying in general, just be very careful. There's really no supports. Now on the Discord, right? And if you want to join the Discord, guys, the link is in the description. I'm in there every day. But I do want to point out this, if it'll load. Actually, I want to check something too. Oh, and by the way, about 3 videos ago, I was calling the first supports for gold and silver and platinum. Yeah, we hit those on point on the channel, so great job if you've been following along. I'm going to show you what I was talking about, how that first support is probably going to be the 10 and 50 moving average. And what do you know? Platinum came down, hit that 20 moving average, right on point where I said it. So, or this is gold, but same way. Gold came down, hit that 20 moving average, came up and hit the 10, and is right back on that 20 moving average. Silver also. Silver bounced really hard, not gonna lie. That was a really crazy bounce, but I did point out the 10 moving average. We got close to it. We did hit it pretty much, but great job. And then also on platinum, that was silver. Now you can see it's on a support right here. So just be very careful, but notice how it's on the 10 moving average. Guys, if the market drops, you're probably gonna see this go down into the lower ends around 1900. Now let's actually go over this because I do want to point this out, and I think it's super, I think it's super educational, honestly. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, we talk a lot in the Discord. So right here. So this was the Fed injecting money on today, December 29th. Well, yesterday in general. But the Fed injected $16 billion. So I want to show you something. I kind of pointed it out. So right here, when we had November 3rd, see this injection of the money? I'm going to show you what happened to the market. Right here, we had a nice sell-off. That was November 3rd. That's what November 3rd was. And then I pointed out December 3rd-ish, right here, December 3rd, where they injected another amount of money. What happened right there? I'm going to show you. We had a rejection in the market. Now, as we sit right here, they're injecting money in the market. So just letting you know, bulls, you're not really having a favored stance. So if you're having a bullish dopamine high and still thinking we're going higher in the market, there's a lot of things facing against you right now. So just be very careful, guys. We are going to play with the trend. We're not going to be bearish forever, but right now we are.